Look closely at this craggy, golden crust. While it looks like fried chicken, the center is actually a thick, savory egg patty. By borrowing a few deep frying techniques from street food vendors, we can transform a basic pantry staple into a premium, heavily textured snack. Our goal is to replicate the craggy, shatter-crisp zinger crust entirely without using meat. To achieve this texture, gather 3 eggs, 250 grams of all-purpose flour, salt, freshly crushed black pepper, and chaat masala. Mastering this specific coating sequence turns a humble ingredient into a high-impact snack that defies visual expectations. Step 1 is building the foundation for our cutlets. We need an egg patty with enough structural thickness to mimic a solid cut of chicken. Start by cracking 3 eggs into a bowl. Add exactly half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of freshly crushed black pepper. Beat the mixture vigorously until the eggs turn pale and distinctly frothy. This mechanical aeration is what traps the air needed for a thick, fluffy result. Heat 1½ tablespoons of oil in a pan over a low flame and pour the mixture directly into the center. Do not swirl the pan. Keep the pour localized. If the egg spreads thin across the entire pan, the cutlets will lack the volume required for this dish. Cover the pan and let it cook for 2 minutes. Then flip the patty and give the other side an additional 2 to 3 minutes to set completely. This aerated, concentrated patty provides the architectural base needed to prevent thin or disappointing cutlets. With the egg fully cooked, we move into the transitional phase to prepare it for the dredging station. Remove the patty from the pan and place it on a plate. It is vital to address the surface moisture immediately. Take a paper towel and press it firmly against both sides of the egg to blot away all excess frying oil. If you skip this step, you create a barrier. Residual surface oil pushes our wet batter away, causing the entire crust to slide off during frying. By drying the egg completely, the batter can grip tightly onto the porous surface for a permanent bond. Now, portion the dry patty into 8 equal pizza-style wedges. This maximizes the surface area for our crust to cling to. Removing that surface moisture ensures the breading anchors properly and stays intact throughout the deep frying process. Now we set up the dual coating dredging station, which creates the signature zinger texture. In a large bowl, create your dry mix by thoroughly combining 250 grams of all-purpose flour, salt, black pepper, and chaat masala. To create the wet binder, scoop 3 tablespoons of this dry mix into a separate bowl and slowly whisk in water. You are looking for a specific viscosity. It should coat the back of a metal spoon without being a thin liquid or a thick paste. Now we set up the dual coating dredging station, which creates the signature zinger texture. In a large bowl, create your dry mix by thoroughly combining 250 grams of all-purpose flour, salt, black pepper, and chaat masala. To create the wet binder, scoop 3 tablespoons of this dry mix into a separate bowl and slowly whisk in water. You are looking for a specific viscosity. It should coat the back of a metal spoon without being a thin liquid or a thick paste. Now we set up the dual coating dredging station, which creates the signature zinger texture. In a large bowl, create your dry mix by thoroughly combining 250 grams of all-purpose flour, salt, black pepper, and chaat masala. To create the wet binder, scoop 3 tablespoons of this dry mix into a separate bowl and slowly whisk in water. You are looking for a specific viscosity. It should coat the back of a metal spoon without being a thin liquid or a thick paste. Submerge an egg wedge entirely into the wet slurry. Let the excess drip off and place it directly into the dry flour. Use a tossing technique for the breading. Pile the dry flour over the egg and press it down onto the surface. This forces the flour to stick and build up irregular, craggy flakes. Engineering these irregular flour clumps directly on the surface is what creates the multi-layered, shatter-crisp crust once it hits the hot oil. It is time for the thermal setting phase. Gently drop your coated wedges into a wide pan of medium-high hot oil. Once they are in the oil, do not touch or flip them for at least 90 seconds. The breading needs time for the heat to set the binder. Moving the cutlets too early will knock your flakes completely off the egg. Wait for a rich golden brown color. This usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes of total frying time. When they reach that color, remove the cutlets with a spider skimmer, letting the excess oil drain back into the pan. This disciplined approach to frying solidifies the illusion, locking the delicate flour flakes into a rigid, crunchy shell. Stacked together, a pile of these crispy egg cutlets is visually indistinguishable from premium fried chicken tenders. The result is a sharp textural contrast, a shatter-crisp flour exterior followed by a dense, tender egg center. Serve these as a snack, with ketchup, mayonnaise, or green chutney. By executing a precise dual dredge and understanding the mechanics of a deep fry, you can engineer a simple kitchen staple into a sensory-rich street food.